receive requests from sometimes from members, but the requests we have been discussing today have come from the committee, the majority of the committee.
And you do have members who will ask for information as well?
That does sometimes occur, yes.
And have you tried as best as you can with the resources you have, and they are many, I confess, to satiate the desires of the members of the committee who are asking for information?
We are very committed to providing the committee with the information that it needs. We respect the committee's oversight priorities and oversight interests, and I am really proud of my staff who have worked tirelessly to respond to the committee's and requests.
Let me move to another subject, and if time permits, I'll come back to this. But in 2003, investors and banks with $136 trillion in assets under management have requested thousands of companies to disclose climate-related information for their investing and financing decisions. I have colleagues, my Republican colleagues, many, claim that climate-related information is not material to investors. Why is disclosure of climate-related information material to investors, Madam Counsel General?
So our disclosure rules at the SEC are aimed at providing investors with the information that they need to make informed investment and voting decisions. That information, it can change over time. It often does. It relates to developments in the market, to risks that companies are facing and our registrants are facing. And as we have heard from investors, many companies are providing information about climate-related risks, but we don't currently have that information in a comparable form that is useful to investors. That's what we've heard from investors. And climate-related risk can be just as important to businesses, to the nature and health of the business, as other things we might traditionally think about, like physical assets or material contracts. And the climate-related risk disclosure proposal that's out there walks through in detail the reasons why the commission voted the proposal and believes that the disclosures are necessary to the protection of investors and the public interest.
Is it safe to say that it's about investor protection, Madam Counsel General?
It is about investor protection. That is a core piece of our mission and a core piece of our disclosure requirements.
And to this end, do you make every effort to acquire this intelligence so that you can share it with these investors who are going to suffer as a result of climate change, whether my colleagues believe that it exists or not?
So we have received, as I mentioned earlier in my testimony, a record number of comments from members of the investing public, issuers, other interested members of the public on our climate rule, and we are taking all of those.
What's going on, family? Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know we're starting off this call with the oversight of the SEC. This may be one of the pivotal points in changing the leadership over at the SEC and some of these other organizations. So just pay attention. I'm playing this morning instead of personal development because this is very important, and I want to make sure that you guys are able to hear what they're talking about. So pay attention, family, and we'll get started in the next few minutes. Help me send this link out too. Let's get it.
8.3 million documents, and as I mentioned earlier, that's not pages of documents. That's 3.3 million documents.
I would leave you with, this is not oversight, this is overreach run amok. Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. With that, the gentlewoman from Missouri, the chair of the Capital Markets Subcommittee, Ms. Wagner, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Barbaro, what is your role in drafting responses to congressional inquiries?
I oversee the staff in the Office of General Counsel that works on oversight and investigations. That staff works closely with Aaliyah, our office that handles interactions with the Hill.
How big is your staff?
I have about 150.
150. Yes or no? Do you have final approval of the SEC's responses to letters from members of Congress?
I would have final.
Yes or no?
I wish I could answer yes or no, but it depends whether the letter is coming from me under my signature or whether it's a letter that's coming
Who has the
from.
final approval?
If the chair is sending a response, it would be Chair Gensler who would have approval. If his staff is sending responses or another officer is sending a response.
Thank you, Ms. Barbaro. What factors do you consider when deciding to simply submit our letters to the comment file of rulemaking instead of providing substantive responses?
So in responding to the committee's request, the staff correctly prioritized information that we could produce quickly and that was responsive to the request. That information, because our rulemakings are conducted in the public view in a transparent fashion, the comment file is in fact the record that the commission considers in finalizing the rule. So for inquiries about the climate rule, that administrative record, that is the key information that the commission is considering in deciding how to finalize.
Thank you, Ms. Barbaro. Many of the letters my colleagues and I have sent to the SEC include very specific questions, but receive very generic responses. Are there internal policies or regulations that dictate how the SEC can respond to these letters? And if not, how is that determination made and by whom?
A lot of thought goes into how to respond to those. My staff will consult with subject matter experts across the agency.
They're very generic responses. I mean, one to Mr. Huizinga was one paragraph long. Please proceed.
I don't know offhand the particular response to Mr. Huizinga. It depends on which. I had in mind our responses to the 7 interrogatories, which are quite detailed, are done and prepared in consultation with subject matter experts across the commission.
Let me, Ms. Barbaro, what is a reasonable time frame for your office to respond to correct congressional correspondence?
We engage with the committee right away when we receive correspondence.
Reasonable time frame.
The reasonable time frame is to engage, and if you are
days, months.
So I know that this answer may not give you comfort, but it does depend on what the congressional inquiry is and what the.
Chairman McHenry and I sent a letter on April 13th regarding the SEC's failure to focus on capital formation in its rulemaking agenda. In that letter, we included a response deadline of April 27th. The SEC responded to our letter just 2 days before you testify here on June 20th. The letter from the chairman of the full committee included 6 questions, none of which were answered.
Wow. All right, guys, welcome to Coffee and Crypto, episode number 113. My name is Vincent Owens, guys. Here each and every single Tuesday and Thursday, just helping you guys really plug into this space and really get to this bag and really focus, man. Like sometimes it's not just about the fast gains, but it's really about the slow grind into this space. We're so early to this space of cryptocurrency. We're so early to. One second, y'all. My bad. I think I might have. 1 second. Let me see if I'm still good. If y'all can still hear me, drop some coffee in the chat box and let me know real quick. Just want to make sure that we still are connected good. Everybody hear me? Awesome. All right, cool. So like I said, man, it's not always about, there's time and place for everything. And right now, I believe that the time and the place is really for us to really start to observe and figure out what is it that we truly desire, right? If it's wealth, right? If you desire wealth and abundance, you cannot have a fast mindset. You cannot have like a mindset that's like, oh, I'm gonna get it tomorrow, right? But honestly, if you want to have true wealth and true wealth comes from over a long period of time, doing something consistently over a long period of time until the time is right. Okay, we are moving into the time being right. What you guys just saw, the clip you just saw, and luckily you all showed up early because there's people that'll hop on that won't even know what the hell I'm talking about because they didn't show up on time, right? But that's neither here nor there. The thing about it is this, right? When you're serious about something, when you know for a fact that something is happening, you just have to continue to stick the course and stick the journey, no matter what other people feel about it around you, whether you're right or wrong at the end of the day. All right. I truly believe that we're right. I truly believe that what we're focusing on is inevitable. I've literally showed research upon research, articles upon articles, and there's nothing that's going to be different today. So welcome to Coffee and Crypto episode number 113. If you guys can help me, just send this link out to the Discord group, send this link out to Telegram, to your friends and family. And also, if you're live on YouTube, make sure you smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and then also send the link out. Share this video. Like, I don't ask you guys for much. There's no cost to come to this call. So if you want to pay me back, just share. You know what I mean? Sharing is caring. Just pay this forward. The best way to pay me back is to pay this forward to the next person. That way, they don't miss this content. They don't miss this information that we're about to have today. So let's dive into this content today, family. We won't be here long today at all. And so with that being said, let's get to it. All right. So today is the oversight of the SEC committee. That's what you all were watching for the last 10 minutes. It's happening today. This is where they're investigating the SEC. They're investigating Gary Gensler and kind of their regulation by enforcement tactics, instead of just giving us clear set rules as an industry and then saying, hey, this is what you guys have to do to be regulated. And you know what I mean? So this has been a problem, and it's really boiled down not just into crypto, but it's boiling down into the entire financial system, because these new financial tools like Ripple, right? Like XRP, like Stellar, like Hedera Hashgraph, like Coinbase, these new tools that have been developed to help us during these liquidity crises. Man, we have to understand that they're suppressing this, and there's a reason as to why. And so I think we've kind of uncovered it over the last couple of episodes. What they're doing is they have slowed this industry down because, number one, they wanted to stop it. They see that you can't stop this. This is not something you can just stop. This is not something that they're used to. Typically, the government, when they don't like something, they're used to being able to just shut it down. But because this is technology, because this is software, you can't just shut it down. Just can't do that, right? So with that being said, I'm not sure who this is, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick them out immediately because I don't know what that name is. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick them out. Goodbye. We don't got time for trolls. Come in here with your real name or don't come at all. All right. That's how we popping off. Matter of fact, I'm locking the meeting. Okay. If you want to look, if you don't show up on time, I'm gonna be real with y'all. If you don't show up on time on the link and you have 10 minutes past the hour, it's 11 minutes past. If you don't show up on time, catch me on YouTube. That's what it is for now on. I have to really start regulating because I can see that we've had issues before with people coming on here, just saying stuff in our comments on Zoom. And Zoom is a very sacred place. Take that energy to YouTube. You know what I mean? That's for YouTube. That ain't for the Zoom, right? The Zoom is family. If you guys come here, you're on time. You deserve to be here. So anybody else that shows up late, they'll have to catch it on YouTube. And that includes you from this episode moving forward. So I recommend that you guys show up on time, be here, because there's so much value and there's not enough time. So there's not enough time to waste, guys. So this first video that I want to share with you all, okay, is a quick 4-minute clip from the actual hearing that's going on today. Okay, and so Gary Gensler's BS is being called out by Congress in today's hearing. Check this out.
Titled Oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days with which to submit extraneous materials to the chair for inclusion into the official record. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes to give an opening statement. Article 1, Section 1 of the United States Constitution vests, quote, all legislative powers, close quote, in Congress. However, even after the landmark decision in West Virginia versus EPA, some agencies continue to act well outside the bounds Congress instructed them to follow. Inherent in those constitutional powers is the power to conduct oversight. The Supreme Court has held and reaffirmed that Congress has the power to conduct oversight to, quote, secure needed information, close quote, in order to legislate. Let me remind everyone paying attention this morning, our subcommittee should and will continue to conduct oversight where needed. And with all due respect to Ms. Barbero, it's not up to the General Counsel's office or Chair Gensler to decide what those investigations are. Ms. Barbero, ultimately, the buck stops with you, and we have the chair as well. And as Chief Legal Officer, it is your job to make sure the SEC complies with our requests. Given your extensive experience sitting on this side of the dais, I know, frankly, or suspect that you would never have allowed an agency to stonewall Congress or you or your bosses the way that it appears it's been done for the last 6 months. But let's not for a second pretend that this unresponsiveness has always been the case for the SEC. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC's unresponsiveness to committees' requests has been extremely slow and limited in comparison to that of previous chairs. Where past chairs have been quick to respond to Congress, in contrast, Chair Gensler, and by extension you, have continued to miss deadlines, offer no accommodations, blame staff shortages, budget deficiencies, and bureaucratic obstacles. When committee staff received documents claiming to be, quote, responsive, as the chair had put a couple of weeks ago, the SEC either failed to acknowledge the questions actually being asked or provided mostly publicly available documents. To put this in perspective, let me provide you with some statistics. For our request in the SEC's climate disclosure rule, 80% of all of the documents that you produced to date are all publicly available. In fact, a portion of those documents were previously provided to FOIA requesters. But wait, it gets worse. In response to the committee's request to better understand the charges against former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, 100% of the documents that you provided are publicly available. And to be sure, the SEC's slow and limited responses to congressional requests isn't for a lack of resources or experience. The SEC oversees 24 national security exchanges, 9 credit rating agencies, 7 registered clearing agencies, and the activities of 29,000 registered agencies, including investment advisors, broker-dealers that collectively employ over 1 million people in the United States. To imply that they cannot respond to Congress in a timely manner is an insult to our institution and frankly embarrassing for yours. It should be noted that during the failure of multiple banks which they oversee and while working to manage the fallout, the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, and other regulators have been perfectly capable of providing important documents, testimony, and access to documents. The SEC is an outlier. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC has prioritized rewriting every corner of our capital markets, proposing 46 rules since the start of his tenure, many with far-reaching implications that will upend decades of precedents and have little economic analysis to justify their existence. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC has prioritized regulation by enforcement in the name of protecting investors. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC has completely ignored its mission to promote capital formation, instead opting to create confusion that will ultimately hurt innovation and entrepreneurs who seek access to our markets. At today's hearing, you'll hear countless instances where the chair and his staff have failed to respond to member inquiries, often with complete disregard to the questions being asked. This isn't a unique request that have come from myself or Chairman McHenry. These issues have persisted on both sides of the aisle. Ms. Barbero, this hearing could have and should have been avoided. But what other choice do we have when the SEC, your boss, and you, by extension, continue to be uncooperative and unresponsive? In May, I sent you a letter that indicated, this was to you, that indicated that this committee was prepared to take the necessary steps to get the information we have sought as part of our constitutional right, our obligation, I would say, to provide oversight of the executive branch. Rest assured that if these obstructions continue, we'll be seeing many more of your colleagues before our subcommittee in the future. So I look forward to hearing your testimony today. I hope that you will be open, transparent with us, and I yield back the balance of my time.
All right, so these are moments that's going down in history. We're literally living through history. These are things that, like, if you really think about it, if you have kids right now, or if you haven't had kids yet, these are things that your kids, even grandkids, great-grandkids will read about. This is literally, I really believe that when it comes down to it, and when everything, like when all comes to light with this industry, we're gonna find out so much, a lot that we don't find out. Right, but so much is going to be exposed. I believe this will be one of the largest scandals and schemes in American history, right? Especially in our financial system. And the reason why I say that is because if you really look at it, right? And let me come up to the front real quick. If you really look at it, family, where we're at right now, America is the only country that is really given. China, they're talking about mining, but China is still pushing forward with this technology. America is the only country right? And you would think that America wouldn't even be a country like that that would operate and participate that way. But America is literally the only country in the world right now that is stifling this innovation, that cannot get their regulations and stuff in order. So I don't understand what's going on outside of maybe it just being, you know, I'm a millennial, right? So maybe there's just not enough millennials that are in Congress yet. Maybe it's just not enough millennials that are a part of the House of Representatives yet. Maybe it's because this is just so new, and because, you know, sometimes when you know, a lot of these politicians and people, they operate on a mindset of, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But the system is broke. It's not broke, it's still working, but it's working against us. Instead of us using these technologies to help improve everything that we have, this is what we're dealing with living here in the United States. So let's keep pushing forward. All right. Now, this was from Jim Rickard. I've showed this video on the podcast before, but you know, this is a great video to lead into everything that we have to talk about today in regards to you know, these asset managers like BlackRock and stuff that are, you know, starting to dive and really start to jump into Bitcoin ETFs, and I'm sure you'll see other ETFs start to pop up. If you don't know what an ETF is, it's an exchange traded fund. All right, pay attention.
And as Ice Nine, you just said that. What does that mean?
It's a reference to the Kurt Vonnegut novel, Cat's Cradle. In the book, a mad scientist creates a new form of water molecule called Ice Nine. When it comes in contact with other water molecules, it freezes them at room temperature. One drop of Ice Nine can freeze the whole ocean. And that's what these elite operatives are about to do to the world economy.
Now, can you share
One drop of Ice Nine can freeze the whole ocean. And that's what these elite operatives are about to do to the world economy.
Now, can you share with our viewers exactly who these operatives are and what their ultimate goal might be?
Like I said, John, more than 189 elite agents have slowly wormed their way into leadership positions across the board. They now sit at or near the head of the IMF, the World Bank, and even our own Federal Reserve. They also control much of what happens at the central banks of China, Russia, India, Brazil, Canada, and Europe. As you know, these institutions form a kind of global superstructure. It forms a kind of snare net encircling all nations. Their leaders aren't democratically elected. They're not accountable to you and me. They're beyond the reach of government and citizens, and yet they hold the fate of the global financial.
All right. So Jim Rickards was talking about Ice Nine. Now, I looked up Ice Nine, and you know, there ain't much that you could find that Jim Rickards was talking about in regards to, you know, the IMF, you know, any of these large institutions, the BlackRock or anything like that. But I thought that this was pretty interesting because we see that, you know, we are in a liquidity issue. There's not enough money. And then also you got to remember that you got a lot of these people around the world, people around the world, even the US, that are pulling their cash out the bank. Billions of dollars are being pulled out. Multi-millions are being pulled out every day, you know, because people are unsure, right? When there's a lack of clarity, people start to panic. And so with this lack of clarity of where we're headed as far as financials, guys, people say money's not important, but they're panicking over it, right? People say money's not important, but they're panicking over it. Understand something. The only time that people truly panic is for two reasons. They either don't have enough money or they don't have oxygen. Think about it. I mean, like when you panic, typically I panic when I can't breathe. If I'm under the ocean, if I'm under the water, I try to hold my breath. Once I'm running out of oxygen, I start to panic. These are times when you start to panic. And so right now, the oxygen is being pulled right from underneath us in the terms of finances, in the terms of our financial system. And there is a great reset that is on the way, that we know is on the way. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto, episode number 113. If you're live on Zoom and I let you in, congratulations. There's a reason why the meeting was locked. Show up before 110. Do not come after 110 or you'll have to hop on YouTube. There are new rules. I want for everybody, people need to be here, like straight up. If you can't be here on time, jump on YouTube. Don't even bother getting on the Zoom link because of the fact that I have to protect the Zoom link. I have to lock this channel. Okay. And also, if you showed up late to class, your teacher is going to tell you to go take your ass to ISS, in school suspension, right? So listen, if you are late, go to ISS. This is a school. This is free education, right? Just like public school. This is public school, free education. So if I want to lock the door, I'm gonna lock the door because it's public, all right? And it's my school. So please be on time, okay? Please, please, please be on time, all right? With that being said, let's continue to push forward, okay? All right, so I don't know if you all heard, but the Justice Department launched an investigation into Wall Street short sellers, I believe a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. Okay, it's the largest document storage facility, okay, through TD Ameritrade Bartlett Warehouse. It went up in flames, y'all. They hauled the evidence away on fire in direct violation of OSHA safety requirements. 60 hedge funds were to undergo investigations for manipulative short selling. Authorities concluded that a falling shelf took out the entire building sprinkler system that was located on the roof. The facility was a newer facility outfitted with state-of-the-art fire prevention technology. Hedge funds have been under heavy scrutiny from retail investors, more specifically from the AMC and GME community after the meme stock frenzy early last year, 2021. Hedge funds have been able to suppress the share price of both these stocks through predatory short selling strategies. In a Bloomberg exclusive, Gary Gensler stated 90 to 95% or retail market traders do not go through the lit exchange, but rather through dark pools. This happened on February 4th of 2022. This has been an ongoing thing, right? The primary offender of naked shorting, of course, is Citadel, owned by Ken Griffin. Griffin is Ron DeSantis and is a mega donor and a World Economic Forum member. So we're talking about Citadel, okay? Pay attention. Now, I just wanted to show y'all that, you know, this is what happened. And so we deal with so much corruptness. And I don't know, y'all probably ain't even heard of this. A lot of people haven't even known that this is going on. Why? Because they don't put this in the news. This is not what's important to y'all. What's important to y'all is what's her name from Love and Hip Hop? I don't even know. But whoever her name is from Love and Hip Hop, Jocelyn, that's her name. Jocelyn fighting right at the Floyd Mayweather fight, right? Y'all rather listen to that type of gossip and send stuff on Instagram. I do it. I do it too. I ain't gonna say that I don't send stuff on Instagram. I send it every day. I send funny stuff to people because I feel like it's important to brighten up your day with things that are funny. But you also have to brighten your day up with things that are serious, things that actually matter. This is something that matters. This is something that's big. This is something that needs to be exposed. And they're not talking about this on mainstream media. Okay. Institutions are all scrambling to get their share of the 21 million Bitcoin. I want to talk to y'all right now. Understand something, family. We are going through a time right now where there are only 21 million Bitcoin left, I guess, in circulation. We are moving up to a new the new Bitcoin halving is coming, right? We are entering the next Bitcoin halving. I believe the Bitcoin halving is 2024. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 2024. You guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here on Zoom. I know y'all know, but I believe it's 2024 is the next Bitcoin halving. And so everything is lining up for the next halving. We are about to see the largest bull run we've ever seen in the history. I promise y'all. We are about to see, if you guys don't think so, we watched Bitcoin go in 2017. We watched Bitcoin skyrocket to about $20,000. And then it tanked back down to about $2,000 or $3,000, right? So literally from 20,000 to 2 or 3, that means $18,000 to $17,000 was lost in the market. We saw the market go from that point of $2,000 or $3,000 all the way up to almost $70,000, about 68 grand. We saw Bitcoin hit. Okay, 3,000 to 68,000. Now we've seen Bitcoin go from 68,000 down to the lowest of, I believe, what was the lowest? We saw like $18,000 Bitcoin. I believe we might have saw lower, but I believe that's where we typically were at. Now we're back at 15, right? Now we're back at 30. Do y'all understand that when this next halving happens, Bitcoin could very well surpass $100,000 per coin? OMG. 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 Like literally, can you imagine that happening? Right? Understand that when that happens, what we'll see is all these other altcoins. It's about to be altcoin season, right? It's like rabbit season, right? But this is altcoin season. When we experience altcoin season this time, it's not going to be a meme coin altcoin season. This next season is the reason why we're even in this market. We've been waiting for this. This is a utility-based season. It's our time. If you're ready, drop "it's my time" in the comments. It is your time. Pay attention.
How big of a deal is this BlackRock ETF? Yeah, look, I think what's happening right here is everyone's heard of the space race, where a bunch of countries got together and they all tried to get to space first. But now what we're going to see is the great accumulation race. And what I mean by that is we have institutions and individuals all scrambling to try to get their share of the 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in existence. The retail investor for 15 years now has had a head start, and they've accumulated all the Bitcoin that has been actually mined and put into circulation. But 68% of all of that Bitcoin in circulation hasn't moved in over a year. And so what that means is when Wall Street, people like BlackRock and other organizations that have now filed for these ETFs or other products, show up to the market and they want to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a highly illiquid asset, and these Bitcoiners don't want to sell to Wall Street. And so the only thing that can move when you have a fixed supply asset that's highly illiquid and there's a bunch of demand that comes into the market is the price has to go up. How long that takes is anyone's guess, but I think that's the big story here is the great accumulation race is underway.
The great accumulation race is underway. What are you what have I literally been saying this for the last year. Like literally, we are in the accumulation phase. Drop a 7 if you've heard me say that before, right? We are literally in the great accumulation phase. Drop a 7, right? If you've heard me say this before. Are you accumulating? Are you accumulating? I literally, there's a guy, and if he watches the YouTube, okay, oh well, right? But there's a friend of mine that I met a long time ago when I actually was still in school. And he actually did a one-on-one session with me. I broke down everything to him, helped him set up the exchange. And he sent me a text the other evening, and he was like, "Hey, bro, it was early in the morning. I woke up to it. He was like, "Hey, bro, I really appreciate you." He was like, I'm so grateful for you. He was like, although I have not been able to buy any of the cryptos, since our meeting, we met last year. I have not been able to buy any of the cryptos, but I just want you to know, I appreciate you. I haven't been able to come to any other master classes, but I want you to know, I appreciate you. And that message disturbed me. It really disturbed me. And it's going to disturb me, I feel like forever, because these tokens are 50 cents, 2 cents, 30 cents, $100 if you're investing in quant. They're so affordable. Like the fact that, and then I look, and sometimes he may go out and drink. People like that may go out and eat. Why are you even hungry? Like I'm telling y'all, like I would starve for one day just to put a couple pennies into XRP. This is not financial advice, but this is just what I see. Like, guys, my God. So anyway, we get off that topic, and I want y'all to, let's get back to it. The great accumulation race is here. What does that mean? We saw Bitcoin go from $3,000 to $68,000 without institutional push. That was a retail push. We saw XRP move. We saw Ethereum move. All these were, this is the first time in history that any market was pushed by retail first before institutions came in. This is the first time where we had the level of sovereignty where we could choose first before the institutions came in like BlackRock. I guarantee you right now, these are your last moments. If you're on this call and you have not accumulated, institutional money is on the way. This will be solidified after this congressional meeting. Something will happen within this next couple of months. And I promise you, if you have not packed your bags with at least 1,000 XRP, drop a 7 if you at least got 1,000 XRP, drop a 0 if you don't. And I need everybody to participate. I'm looking right now. And if you don't, I will not proceed forward. This is my show. This is my show. This is my show, and I demand it. Drop a 7 or a 0 if you have not gotten 1,000 XRP. Come on. Come on. Let's go. I'm looking at the names. I'm calling y'all out. I'm calling y'all out. Don't make me call you out. Don't let me do that. Money bags, Britt, where you at? Mikhail, have you got your 1,000? Right? There we go. Thank you. Right? Let's go. Let's go. Who else? Who else? Celeste, okay, you got yours. Mr. Branch went crazy. Good Lord. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. What? Dang. Hold on, wait. In the words of Smokey on Friday. Damn. Mr. Branch. Damn. Come on, y'all. And you know this, man. And you know this, man. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto, y'all. All right. So listen, this is so important. And I didn't mean to bully. I'm not bullying y'all. I'm just having fun. I just want everybody to be active. You know what I mean? Be active. You know what I mean? This is like, you know what I mean? This is our workout for the day. This is the morning time before we really get into the day, before we get into the calls, before we get into the grind, before we get into the sales, right? This is the time where we get to spend together. Talk to me, y'all. You know what I mean? That's all I want. Shout out to everybody on the call right now, okay? So let's continue to push forward because check this out. Bitcoin jumps on speculation. BlackRock may know something, right? So understand that at least 3 issuers have filed plans since the BlackRock filing. So since BlackRock has filed, we've seen about 3 issuers that have filed for ETFs. The race to an exchange trading fund, the race to the NASDAQ. That's what it's about. The race to Wall Street. The race to Bitcoin being on Wall Street is happening right now. BlackRock started it. We saw Fidelity Investments pop in as well. And then we also have a brand new one, which we'll talk about here in a second. Okay. Black Swan Capitalist says, sugarcoat it all you want. The economy is already dead. The only life support it has is credit, and that's going to dry up soon. Liquidity markets are drying up at an alarming rate, and the only way we free up capital is through full-scale adoption of XRP's on-demand liquidity. Think this is a joke. Check this out, family. This is the Bitcoin daily chart, okay? Understand, the BlackRock announcement was when? Okay, let's go look. Let's go look at the date that Fox put this up. This was June 17th. So let's go back to the chart and let's go find June 17th. This is June 15th, June 16th, June 17th. Look at this. Since June, and so understand something. If you don't trade, let me break this down to you. Every candlestick that you see, every long line that you see, single line represents one full day. Okay. Since June 17th, we've seen Bitcoin go from a low of $26,000 to now going all the way up to $30,000. Bitcoin over the last, 5 days, 6 days has literally went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, over the last 5 days has went up over $4,000. Let that sink into your minds. Yes. Now, crypto regulation is the spotlight of the world right now. The U.S. House Committee prepares for a key vote. Shout out to Mr. Branch for posting this. I actually pulled this from Mr. Branch's Twitter, okay, or Michael. He said call him Michael, so Michael's Twitter. The U.S. House Official Financial Services Committee is set to vote on new legislation regulating digital assets, including cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. The proposals are scheduled to be debated in the second week of July. We will be covering that live on Coffee and Crypto. Make sure you guys are here. As the U.S. regulatory agencies continue to grapple with regulatory uncertainty in the crypto industry, several Republican leaders have introduced bill drafts aimed at providing much needed regulatory clarity. Understand that first, they try to push it away. First, they're skeptical about it. First, they're like, no crypto. This is not good. Then after they push it away, then what do? They actually sue it. First they push it away, then they sue it, right? We've seen so many lawsuits start to happen through the SEC. After they sue it, then they choose to regulate it. Once they regulate it, then comes mass adoption, and there's no more room in Bethlehem. Do you feel my drift? We are on the third. There's four stages. There's 4 stages of mass adoption: the push, the sue, the regulation. Right now, we are with war. Right now, we are like Warren G. We're regulating. Right now, Warren G is here. There's regulation that's happening. After that comes the hit. See, we in the studio right now. We mixing and mastering everything up right now. See, the song has already been recorded. Now we're adding the ad libs. You feel what I'm saying? That's your regulation. The next thing is the CDs hit the shelves. The next thing is you can start downloading the song on Apple Music because it's the final hit is here. The final hit is on the way, guys. Do not miss your chance to change your life. Now, speaking of change your life, let's watch this quick video.
There's been a lot of discussion around stable coins being used to solve some of the same issues that you've just outlined. What's your take on the stable coins versus CBDC debate? Can stable coins do the same thing?
I think from a technical functionality point of view, there's not a big difference between stablecoin and CBDC. The real issue is who's issuing it and who's backing it. So we do see a world of coexistence. I think CBDC will become ultimately the preferred digital currency for a lot of people because they feel safe and secure because it's backed by the central bank. But we see them coexisting. It's the same way that we see cryptos coexisting. Our Ripple network, as you may know, uses XRP as a bridge currency between currencies as a way to negate the need to pre-fund accounts. We call it on-demand liquidity. So we think all of these different digital currencies have a role to play, and we'll all.
Ripple starts platform for central banks to issue CBDCs. I told y'all it's on the way. They're keeping us blind. They're keeping us blind, right? But I see what's going on. I see it. I see it clearly now, right? I see it clearly now. So BlackRock files for the Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. There's rumors of Fidelity applying. I don't think they've applied yet, but Valkyrie Investments is the newest member that joins the flurry of firms filing for the spot Bitcoin ETFs, right? So now you have this next investment firm, and what is their goal? Their goal is to get it on the exchange for NASDAQ. Kevin O'Leary said it. Crypto companies will be a part of the S&P 500. They will be a part of NASDAQ. You will be able to trade these companies publicly. Okay? So just in, this happened yesterday, okay, June 21st. This is their preliminary prospectus, okay? And if you read at the bottom right here, you can go through the whole thing, but if you read at the bottom, the trust intends to list its shares on the NASDAQ stock market under the symbol BRRR. You know what I mean? Because it's getting cold in here right now. Can somebody put BRR in the chat box? All right. So I went over to Valkyrie. I went over to Valkyrie Investments, okay? And I was checking them out. And this is their front page, right? We invest in digital assets, right? Enter the emerging digital asset economy through Valkyrie's specialized suite of products. You feel me? Hey, it's getting crazy out here right now. So if you go to their website, they have this digital asset trust. They are going to be they're going to be delivering ETFs. Look at this right here. They got the Valkyrie Bitcoin Trust, Valkyrie Polkadot Trust, and Zaliqua Trust. Okay, these are some of the trusts that are being explored. You even have your ETFs. Scroll down. We have the Valkyrie Bitcoin Strategy ETF. We have the Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners ETF. Okay. All the money with Valkyrie, eh? They want it all. Okay. Very important to just understand who the players are. We don't got to spend much time talking about Valkyrie. Just understand, y'all can do your own research. Just understand that this is what's happening. So when you start to see these institutions come in, this is when you can start to consider it almost too late to get in. It's almost too late to get in. It's never too late to stay in, right? I don't believe that there's ever a time that it's too late to stay in the market, but sometimes it's too late to get in the market. And listen to the Federal Reserve's chairman, Jerome Powell, saying that crypto appears to have staying power as an asset class after they've talked all this grand BS about it for the last 2 years.
Crypto and digital assets in the U.S. has got a market cap of around $1.1 trillion right now. It's been there for a bit. Do you acknowledge that this asset class has staying power in the U.S. economy?
It appears to have some staying power. Of course, that 2.1 trillion was, what was that a year ago? A lot higher.
Yeah, it's had some volatility in large measure due to the lack of legal clarity. And so hopefully this committee will help that quite a lot here this summer with at least 2 bills, one on stable coins and one on market structure. And it'll be clear, not just for Congress, but for regulators, including Chairman Gensler, and obviously market participants, whether they're forming the ideas or investing in the ideas or participating in the activities in crypto.
All right, so that's the Federal Reserve's chairman, Jerome Powell. Crypto appears to have staying power as an asset class. It ain't going nowhere, y'all. Right now, in the best news, crypto firm Ripple gets in principal payments license in Singapore. It has finally been confirmed. The Monetary Authority of Singapore has now given Ripple a major payment institution license for XRP. Does this mean that they will use Ripple's on-demand liquidity? Drop some coffee if you believe so. Drop some coffee if you believe so. I believe so. Believe that that's what's starting to happen. We've already revealed this on this show thousands of times, right? We talked about this literally thousands of times, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, we don't have to read through this, but if you don't know what Ripple is by now, man, you got to get you some. Amazon collaborating in a pilot program for new CBDC proposed by IMF and central banks. So Amazon is collaborating. Why is Amazon collaborating? Let's scroll down and see. Look at this, MAS, this is the Monetary Authority of Singapore says that Amazon, digital finance company, FAZZ, and food delivery and digital payments company, Grab, are participating in a pilot use case involving escrow arrangements for online retail payments. Vincent, why is this important? What does this have to do with Ripple? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because if we go over to Amazon Web Services website, okay, they literally have, and we've showed this multiple times, Ripple is on their main website. They talk about XCurrent for processing real-time payments. They talk about XRapid for source on-demand liquidity. They talk about XVia to send global payments with a single integration, talking about APIs here, right? Being able to connect it, okay? By joining RippleNet, banks, payment providers, exchanges, and corporates can address many commercial use cases, including e-invoicing, international supply chain payments, global currency account, real-time cash pooling, international bill pay, real-time remittance, and international P2P payments. Who are RippleNet members? Literally over 100 financial institutions at the time of this writing on Amazon, and we've expanded beyond that. So why is Amazon joining the MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore? Why? Because the Monetary Authority of Singapore came out with a project called Project Orchid. This came out on October 31st of last year. Project Orchid is a multi-year, multi-phase exploratory project examining the various design and technical aspects pertinent to a retail CBDC system for Singapore, from its functionalities to its interaction with its existing payment infrastructure. Through Monetary Authority of Singapore has assessed that there is no urgent need for a retail CBDC in Singapore at this point in time. MAS seeks to facilitate ongoing learning. Okay, so they said at that time. So last year, less than a year ago in October, they said that there was no urgent need for retail CBDCs. But now, less than a year later, they bring in Ripple to introduce this, not for CBDCs. I don't think this is for central bank digital currencies. I believe what this is for cross-border payments. This is for remittances. Remember that, okay?
So I'm the vice chair of the payments subcommittee of the UCC committee.
The payments subcommittee of the UCC committee. Okay, so one of our substantive committees here in the business law section is dedicated to all aspects of the Uniform Commercial Code, and you are affiliated specifically with its payments subcommittee.
That's right.
So what does that mean in 2018 in this era of cryptocurrencies and whatnot?
It's an excellent question, and I will say it means a lot. So UCC Article 4A in particular is what I work on with folks. And it sounds a bit dry. You know, the letters UCC may be a bit intimidating to folks.
Well, it doesn't seem dry to me. I used to chair the UCC committee and learned how to spell it at an early age.
I agree, it's fascinating. And I will say though that when you talk about fintech, new technologies, cryptocurrencies, they're still anchored in payments. So it's really valuable to have a solid background in financial services, the established industry, the laws that apply. And I would say the resources within the ABA, especially with the UCC committee, I would say totally invaluable. You have experts who do this. Their day job is to advise on UCC for our payments matters.
Okay.
And for some of us, so we don't get to focus on that all the time. That might come up here and there and be a critical issue, in which case, just being able to tap into, professional contacts, resources that the business law publishes and provides, that's hugely invaluable.
So I'm going to guess that there, and I'm sort of going out on a limb here, but something tells me it's a solid limb. There are only so many people who are expert in Article 4A on planet Earth.
I think that's fair. And we're all friends with people.
Something tells me it's a solid limb. There are only so many people who are expert in Article 4A on planet Earth.
I think that's fair. And we're all friends with each other.
So do you tend to?
There's only a certain amount of people that are even qualified, that are specialists for whatever this article is. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. I'm going to find it. I promise you. I'm going to find this article and I'm going to present it to y'all. But she is one of the only people on earth that is a specialist. Who is this lady? This is Jessie Chang.
And just what I do now at the IMF, I work on a lot of policy issues, regulatory issues too, when it comes to fintech. And it's a bit removed from the day-to-day operations. I was deputy general counsel at Ripple for 2.5 years before I joined the fund, and there is very much in the midst of the fintech whirlwind. Deputy general counsel at Ripple for 2.5 years. I was deputy general counsel at Ripple for 2.5 years before I joined. I was deputy general counsel at Ripple for 2.5 years before I joined the fund, and there is very much in the midst of the fintech whirlwind. Taking a step back now, it's helpful to be able to connect with lawyers who are still in banking, handling operations, and at the front lines of risks, emerging risks that are, being raised by fintech developments today. So one key example, and this isn't unique to fintech, it's fraud. Basically, when a bad actor tries to tap into a payment system, payment rail, and basically, misappropriate money, there are always schemes coming out, and it's always a battle to stay one step ahead of fraudsters, even today with wire transfers, and being able to tap into a network of professionals who have to deal with this, who have a pulse on developments, who describe emerging schemes, which are quite creative, I'll say.
Only second to 2018.
Exactly, right, exactly. It's a huge, it's a real asset.
Wow. So I just got a text message. I think Singapore will use XRP as a cross-border payments platform and also for a wholesale CBDC, not a retail, but a wholesale. Okay. Understand, Ripple was for wholesale. Stellar Lumens is meant for retail. But before we get into that, because that's actually a part of the show today, ding, ding, ding. Okay, check this out. This is Jess Ching. You heard her say she in 2028, before she quit, she was the deputy, what was it? The general counsel or the deputy general counsel of Ripple. This is her LinkedIn. From 2015 to 2018, she was the deputy general counsel, okay? She left there and became a council member for the IMF. She spoke. Listen, this lady, I showed y'all last episode. Go to Tuesday's episode. I showed a lot of stuff on Jessie Chang. This woman worked for Ripple, talked about Ripple to the IMF before she even became a counsel of the IMF. And now she became a counsel of the IMF. She even went in January 2020 and became a senior counsel for the Federal Reserve Board in Washington, D.C. She said, I led work on the FedNow legal framework, payments regulation modernization, and policy aspects of crypto stablecoins and CBDCs. And now she's a partner at Wilson, Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati. She says, I advise innovative clients in the payment space to the full spectrum of regulatory policy, operational, commercial, and risk management issues. This lady is powerful, right? So with all that being said, okay, well, I found this too. I just wanted to pull this up real quick. This kind of has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I thought it was interesting. She actually was a part of this. Jess Ching, this came out on May 25th. Of this year. So Jess Ching was also an editor and author of this, right? This is the taxing stablecoins document by the IMF. Make sure you guys go and read this. You can just type it into Google, okay? And last but certainly not least, we talked about the wholesale CBDC, which potentially is going to be Ripple's XRP ecosystem. But the retail side, the side that you and I will know, will be known as Stellar, connected to MoneyGram. Has anybody ever heard of MoneyGram before? Has anybody ever used MoneyGram before for international or domestic payments? We all know. I already know. Hey, me and Moneybags Britt know about MoneyGram now. Look, we know. Hey, we know. I know. Hey, if there's one person on the call I know about MoneyGram, you know what I mean? We know about MoneyGram. Okay. Now, one integration, cash access. Okay, MoneyGram access. Now your wallet or application can enable users to convert their physical cash into digital dollars and back. Okay, pay attention.
Introducing MoneyGram Access, a global network of cash to crypto on and off ramps activated by MoneyGram and built on Stellar. With one integration, your wallet or fintech application can connect to MoneyGram Access, giving your users and the unbanked an entry point into new financial services with the power to deposit or withdraw cash from their digital wallets using USDC, a fully reserved dollar digital currency. Here's how it works. When you integrate with MoneyGram Access, your users can walk into one of hundreds of thousands of participating MoneyGram locations across the globe and turn their physical cash into crypto or their crypto into cash in hand, all within your existing app. No bank account or credit card required. Users just enter the amount of crypto or cash they want to deposit or collect, fill in basic information, and then visit a participating MoneyGram location. From users without bank accounts aiming to safeguard their cash to those looking for an entry point into crypto, your application can offer users a spectrum of financial services. Just integrate one API to access a network of new markets, new users, and the global cash economy. Visit stellar.org/MoneyGram to learn more.
All right. So this is, and so join a growing list of partners. You can use Lobster, right? Lobster Wallet. Someone told me Lobster Wallet wasn't official. I told them, you got to be out your mind because MoneyGram is already on Lobster Wallet. You can always transact. You can already transact and send crypto through USDC directly through MoneyGram. So to say that this is not real is crazy. But with that being said, y'all, this was my show today, episode number 113 of Coffee and Crypto. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. If you all have any, if there's any time or there's a little time for any Q&A or anything that you like, learn to love, would love for you guys to just raise your hand and let me know. Would love for you, just to hear from you guys in regards to the show today. And before you leave, I got some announcements for my people that are on YouTube and here on Zoom. Number one, you don't want to go nowhere. Number one, okay, today at 2 o'clock in a couple hours, Sebastian from VeChain will be getting on the call with me. Okay, so Sebastian from VeChain. If you don't know what VeChain is one of the big projects that you want to be looking into. I did a masterclass last Friday. Okay, I did a masterclass last Friday on VeChain. Okay, it's actually every Tuesday and Thursday. So it ain't just Thursday. But I did a masterclass with VeChain, and I wasn't able to get Sebastian on, and there's some new things, there's some new updates, new ecosystems, new ways of staking. There's a lot of things that are coming this quarter and next quarter for VeChain. And Sebastian will be live at 2 o'clock with me today, Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be finishing up this masterclass. If you already paid for the masterclass, you have access in the Discord. Make sure you guys go to the Discord. I've already dropped the link. Meet me on there. Meet me on the Zoom. If you have not and you want access to this section, you want to be able to hear from Sebastian today and all the updates on VeChain, text me now at 678-688-3251. Again, that number is 678-688-3251. Text me now, 678-688-3251. Text me, shoot me over a text. Appreciate that, Moneybags. Shoot me a text and just type masterclass. That's all you got to do, or just type VeChain. You don't need to type masterclass, type VeChain, okay? And I will make sure that you guys have access to that tonight. And that way you guys, or today, excuse me. And then also, if you would like the full recording, let me know. Now, this is if you did not pay, okay, it ain't free. Okay, there is a cost, but you will also get the recording from the first session. I recommend that you guys go ahead and connect with me. Okay, shoot it over to me. That way you can hear from Sebastian. Second announcement. Tomorrow, I will be doing another masterclass. I'm masterclass heavy right now. I'll be doing another masterclass at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This masterclass tomorrow will be about the evolution of money, the evolution of wealth, how wealth has evolved over time. It's a free masterclass. If you have friends and family that just don't get what's going on, they don't understand why digital assets is important for them to be investing into, and they really won't have a choice after a while, so they might as well get with it or get forced in. You know what I mean? And it's terrible when you have to get forced in. It's better when you just comply, figure it out, and figure out, how you can best make this work for your life. Get them on this masterclass. It's all over my Instagram. It's all over my social media. You can click the link in any of the bios. You can literally click the link in my bio on YouTube as well. And you guys can join me. Go to my link tree. It's the first thing that says masterclass. Make sure you guys join me on that masterclass tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I will be breaking this down. Okay. I don't see any hands, so I assume that nobody has anything to say. So look, with that being said, y'all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch y'all on the next episode.